Today in this video I will show you and myself in the future how to properly set up this old PlayStation 2 FAT version for a modern TV with networking, with homebrew OPL, with FreeDVDBoot and internal hard drive. So this will start from the very beginning. I will include as many details as possible, including the configuration for all the applications. Since the guide will be very detailed, so I will split the series into chapters. So I will start from the hardwares, then move to the software, then configurations. The PlayStation used in this video is my own setup. It's a US version 39001 with a official network adapter. So this console is being modded 20 years ago, so I need to tell myself how to operate this mod chip. So if just short press the reset button, it goes to PS2 disk mode. Obviously only can play PS2 disk. You cannot play PS1 disc or play DVD in this mode. And if you press and hold the reset button for around 2 seconds, it will jump to PS1 mode. In PS1 mode, you can play PS1 discs and play DVDs. If you press and hold the reset button for maybe 5 seconds to 10 seconds, I think it will be in disable mode, and it will behave like a stock PS2. Next, the official Sony PS2 network adapter. So there are many third-party replacements, but they don't have networking capability. Only the official one can be a real network adapter. Others just interface for bridging the hard drive. Unfortunately, the official network adapter only have IDE interface for hard drives. So it's very difficult to find. I have one, but it's slow. So in order to use newer driver, so you need one SATA adapter for this official network adapter. I bought one from Taobao, and this should be the equivalent on eBay. And do not buy this. This is not a network adapter. It only have hard drive interface. It don't have networking interface. After you install the SATA adapter for this network adapter, it will look like this. Any SATA interface hard drive will do, no matter it's SSD or not. You can fasten the screws with your coins. I suggest you have at least 2 memory cards. This one will use for normal game saves. This one will use for FreeDVDBoot. Actually, you can buy this kind of memory card pre-installed with FreeDVDBoot on Taobao or eBay. But we are not going to buy it. We are going to DIY. Next is the USB ZAM driver. It don't have to be very big. I will not install game on it. It's just a temporary storage that you can transfer files from your PC to PS2 when you don't have networking. And this one is optional. Basically, it's a Bluetooth receiver that you can pair with your PS4 or PS5 controller. Then you can use your PS4 controller for your PS2. Next, you need to burn some disks. If your PS2 is not modded, you need FreeDVDBoot. Here you can get it from GitHub. Check these pre-built ISOs and select carefully that match your PS2. If your console is modded like me, you just need another disk called the ULaunch-ELF and get it from here. So you want to download the ISO image that is bootable other ELF is not bootable, so download the DVD or CD ISO image and burn into disks. Both of them do the same thing. Boot your PS2 to the file manager. Next, the HDMI adapter. And you want those kind of HDMI adapter that taking the source from PS2's component signal. Component cable looks like this. This gives you the best picture quality and support 480p or 1080i. This is the best signal and the best cable for PS2. And this normal one is called the composite cable or AV cable. It gives you the worst image quality and it's very blurred. If the adapter is using this signal as source, then the image is very bad. I have two adapters. So this one take in component signal. It supports both YCBCR signal and RGB signal. But on the downside, this one can only take 480i. 480i means 480 interlaced. It means 480 divided by 2 equals 240. Means the image only have 240 lines for one frame. It's very blurred, it's default, and all the games support this baseline, which only have 240 lines per image. But some PS2 games that support real 480 lines per image, they call it 480 progressive or 480p. It will double the resolution and it looks way better, but this adapter cannot take that signal. The good thing for this adapter is its compatibility. It supports RGB signal for input, because when you play PS1 game, the PS2 will force RGB output for the component signal, and you have to switch to RGB inputs, and you will able to play PS1 game with this adapter. But the other adapter cannot do this. And the 1080p upscaler is just a gimmick. Basically, it upscale the very blurred 240 signal into 1080. The upscaled image will be blurred. It will be not very good actually. So actually, I don't use this one. Most of the time I'm using this adapter, so it's called the PS2 to HDMI. It doesn't have any brand, but it's not doing any upscaling, so it's not contaminating the image quality. So actually this one gives better image quality, especially it can passing through the 480p signal directly from the PS2 if the game support it. When you play the Gran Turismo 4, it even support 1080i. It also can pass through to your TV. But the downside is this thing cannot play a PS1 game because it doesn't support the component signal in RGB format. Next, the USB ports on my console. For some reason, only the lower ports support USB thumb drive, and the upper ports doesn't support. I have no idea why. I have no idea if other console is like that. So the upper port only used to power these HDMI adapters, and the lower one will be used for USB devices. And this port, Sony call it iLink, Apple call it Firewire, and there's another name called 1394. And you can use this iLink cable to link to PS2 to play GT3, but actually you can play GT4 using regular RJ45 network. Now you connect the PS2 to the TV and you didn't see any video signal, but you can hear the sound. That probably means your PS2 is outputting RGB signals instead of YCBCR signals, and your HDMI adapter only supports YCBCR signals. Then you pay attention to the sound of the next video clip. This enables you to set back the setting to YCBCR even without seeing the image on the screen. Now remove any DVD USB memory card from the PS2 and start from the beginning. Now it's done. I'm going to change the HDMI adapter to the adapter that only supports YCBCR for better image quality. Next step, boot the PS2 to a file manager that enables homebrew like OPL. If your PS2 is stock, then you need something I showed before. It's called a FreeDVDBoot. If your PS2 is modded, then you need something called ULaunch-ELF ISO burned disk. I showed it previously. Or you already have a pre-built FreeMacBoot memory card, then you use that one. Next, I will show you the FreeDVDBoot. I don't know why the FreeDVDBoot doesn't work on my console. Maybe it's because it's modded. Now the mod chip is in the PS2 mode. That means this DVD will be recognized as a PS2 game. And it will not work as expected. Now I'm trying to hold the reset button for 2 or 5 or more seconds to make the PS2 into PS1 mode or disable mode for the mod chip, but still doesn't work. But this disk is recognized as DVD, but somehow the DVD portion is in PAL format, so it displays the TV system doesn't match. This made me no choice to use the ULaunch-ELF disk I mentioned before, and because that one can be run in PS2 mode for the mod chip. Once you are here, the door of Homebrew is opened for you. Next, we are going to install FreeMacBoot into the hard drive and make our own FreeMacBoot memory card. If you already boot from the FreeMacBoot, then you can follow the next step to install FreeMacBoot into the hard drive. Now in your PC, format the USB thumb drive into FAT32 format. I will create 2 folders on the USB thumb drive. One I will call it Tools, another I will call it Saves. You will search GitHub FreeMacBoot or FMCB. And this is the official page for FreeMacBoot. In the release session, near this pre-release, you will find the latest version for FreeMacBoot installation file, which is this 7-zip. My demo will use this 1966 version. you need to unzip it first, then copy the folder to the USB thumb drive in the Tools folder. Next, search GitHub OPL or Open PS2 Loader, and this is the home page. So in the release section, and expand this asset, download the OPM PS2 LD7.z, and this is the OPL PS2 side software. You need to unzip it and copy to the USB drive. Next, search for HDL_X, and this is the server program that enable you to install games over network to your PS2. For some reason, the development build doesn't contain the server program. In the assets, it's only contain the client side, which is PC side program. So we are going to scroll down, and this revision 47 actually contains the server side program and the client side. So you need to download and unzip it, and you see the ELF file is for PS to run, and the exe file is for your PC to run. And now copy it to your USB drive. Make sure you eject the USB drive before you plug it out. Now plug the USB drive to your PS2, and we will do the following installation for FreeDVDBoot on the hard drive. Remember, when you inside this file manager, it's in Japanese button layouts. The X is cancel, the circle is confirm. Now we are going to launch the FreeDVDBoot installation program in the USB thumb drive, which is mass here. I copy the tool version. I will use the latest version, which is 1966, and you will run this ELF to launch the installation program. Insert a memory card you're willing to sacrifice and made it into a FreeDVDBoot memory card. If you already have one, you can ignore here. Now X is OK and the circle is cancelled. You got several options, and this PS2 and the similar units will take the least space. Every PS2 will take the large amount of space on your memory card, and every PS2 of the same region obviously maybe less space than every PS2, but since I already decided to sacrifice this memory card, I will choose every PS2. Now it says installation completed. Then you click OK and you can pull out the memory card. Then we are going to install FreeDVDBoot into the hard drive. You saw that R1 indicator. You press the R1 on your controller, then you will turn the page. Now we are in the extra menu. Here you can install FreeDVDBoot into the hard drive. It's also called FreeDVDBoot. But before that, I'm going to format my hard drive before installation, so I can restart with a clean install. Then you will click Install FreeDVDBoot FHDB. By the way, from now on, you don't need the FreeDVDBoot memory card anymore. You are going to use the normal game-safe memory card from now on. The FreeDVDBoot memory card is used for emergency boot up. It says installation complete. Now you are going to unplug the USB thumb drive, unplug the memory card, unplug everything, and make sure the disk drive have no disk and reboot your PS2. And this will prevent incompatible configuration file is being loaded from your memory card or USB drive. Now we want to load the configuration from the hard drive. Now your PS2 will be boot from the hard drive from the first time, and it shows FreeDVDBoot, not FreeMacBoot. And scroll down for the FreeDVDBoot configurator. And we need to configure something to prevent the PS2 to load the configuration file or run executable from the memory card or the USB drive. We want all the program to be run from the hard drive. Here press circle and scroll down to select configure OSD sys options. And select configure item number 1, and this is basically the file browser. You see the path 1 and the path 2 is from USB and the memory card. We don't want that. Use the X to delete it. For the path 3, we can make sure it's on the hard drive. We go to the hard drive HDD0, and it's in the sysconfig partition, FreeMacBoot, and the boot.elf, which is our file manager. Do not use the ULEISR HDD. It's not a good file manager. Okay. You can use left and right to select item number 2, item number 3. This is the not so good file manager, which will end with HDD. Item number 3 is Open PS2 Loader, which is OPL. We will configure later. For number 4, we don't use this media system. You can use X to clear it. And you can keep the others by default. And you go back and click Save CNF, which is config to HDD0. Do not save config to memory card or mass, which is USB. The config file is here. If you save to memory card or mass, it will load the config file from the memory card first or the USB first. It will not use the hard drive config. Now we are going to copy other programs to the hard drive. You should use the WLaunch ELF, not the WLaunch ELF HDD, but I will give you a bad example using the Launch ELF HDD. Because while I was doing recording, I'm not aware these actually have less feature. But the steps are the same, it's just don't have the network capability. Now go to mass, which is the USB drive. Tools, we are going to copy the OPL, which is this one. We downloaded the latest version, which is 1.2.0 beta, and this is itself, the Open PS2 Loader.elf. Press R1 and press copy with the circle button. You can use the // to go up, or use the triangle button to go up. Now let's go to HDD0 and go to the PP FreeDVDBoot apps. This is the partition. And going inside, you will see the OPL folder. Inside the OPL folder, you have the older version of OPL. You can use the R1 and say delete. You will delete the older version OPL and press R1 and say paste. and you copy the latest version of OPL to the hard drive. Now you go back to USB drive, Tools, HDL-X reversion 47, which is the server program to install games onto the PS2 via network. Now same thing, you copy this ELF, copy, go up, go up, go up, go to the hard drive, and put this ELF in the same folder as OPL. You paste here. Now we need to manually create the OPL partition. Go to the MISC from the top directory and select HDD Manager. And everything here is a partition, and you cannot delete partition or resize partition. When you create a partition, that's the only chance you say how big is this partition. For OPL, the partition name is plus capital OPL, and I will give it around 500 megabit. So it doesn't have to be this big. It's used to store the OPL settings, your game disk covers, something like that, but you can also store other things. By the way, every PS2 game on the hard drive is a partition. You can delete game here. Next, we're supposed to configure the network, but you see this red text file manager launch ELF HDD doesn't have the network capability. So when I was doing the recording, I don't know, so I will reboot my PS2 and boot into the regular blue launch ELF. In the MISC, you select Configure. Here you can configure the network setting for this file manager. And this setting only for this file manager and transfer files and games, not for the actual games. And here you have to manually configure the IP address for your PS2. So just use your PC or mobile phone as a reference, and you pick one IP address is in the range but not using by any other device. And you can reference from your PC. If your PC is using 192.168.1 something something, then your PS2 also should use this .1 something something, as long as not the same number as your PC. For the gateway, which is your router, so usually it's 192.168.1.1 or .0.1 blah blah blah, but my router having an IP address of .1.254. And here I don't have memory card slot in, so it prompts me to save to hard drive. So click that Save to Hard Drive 0 in the sysconfig partition FMCB ipconfig.data, but somehow it says saved failed. But for some reason, this file have to be on memory card 1, which is MC0. So you slot in your memory card, it will save to your memory card sysconfig ipconfig.date. But I prefer it both on the memory card and the hard drive. So I will save to the memory card first, then copy back to hard drive. So I will go back to the file browser and go to the memory card 1, which is MC0. The file is in sysconfig and ipconfig.date. Press R1, copy, go up, go back to the hard drive, go to sysconfig partition, FMB, and R1 paste. Now we make sure both hard drive and the memory card 1 have the IP config. And we go to File Browser, HDD, sysconfig, FMCB, use the FMCB config.elf. This will config the boot menu. Now we're back to the boot menu setup, and we are going to tweak a few things. So now go down to OSD sys options. For item number 1, we don't need to change anything. For item number 2, we don't want this file manager anymore for HDD. For item number 3, open PS2 loader, and then we are going to clear the paths for the memory card and the USB, and then we will confirm using the HDD01 to launch OPL and return. And for item number 4, we are going to create a new thing. It's called the HDL server or whatever. Basically, this is the I name it OPL server, something like that. Once we run this program, the PS2 will become a file server, so we can use the PC client to transfer the game to this PS2 over your home network. And the path to the ELF is HDL server 093, which is this path in your hard drive. Finally, save the configuration to your hard drive HDD0. And plug your network cable to your PS2 and plug in the memory card with the IP config.data. Now you can try OPL server. If the server is running, it looks like this. It's the IP address you set before, and the config file it loads is hard-coded to memory card 1, which is MC0, and even it's on the hard drive, it won't load that thing. Okay. Go back to File Manager, and in the MISC, there's something called the PS2 net, and plug the network cable to your PS2. And this PS2 net will start a FTP server in the same IP address. This FTP server can transfer files, but it cannot transfer games. Okay. Now we are going to start up the Open PS2 loader for the first time. Make sure you insert your memory card, which is the game save memory card. Don't use the FreeDVDBoot memory card. The game save memory card have to be plugged in. I tried my very best to save config to the hard drive, but failed. It's causing some conflicts, and there's no way you can use the config on the hard drive, so it have to be on the memory card. So slot in your memory card, and we are going to change some settings. So I will turn the PS logo on and the write operation on, and the HDD device start is auto, ETH is menu, application menu, default is HDD games. For the display, so I'd like to turn on the cover and auto refresh, and change the screen setting to 720p HD TV. And turn on the widescreen and click OK. So if your device adapter and the TV support it, it will output to 720p signal. If you don't click this accept in time, it will jump back to the default one. So you have to do it again. So I will change to 720p and accept immediately. Now the PS2 is outputting 720p, and I turn on the sound effects, and the network setting I will cover in the next video, and save change. You should see settings saved to memory card, not PFS0, and that because this is the previous recording, so it was saved to hard drive. So you are supposed to save to memory card, unfortunately. So in the next video, I will cover how you can set up OPL in your local computer, and how you can transfer the game to PS2 hard drive, or just use your PC or NAS to host the game and ask the PS2 OPL to directly access your computer or NAS to play the game without copy to the hard drive.